Hello, everybody, and welcome to my kitchen. I have been sharing rooms in my new home that we built and moved in back in February for each of my videos. Last time I was in my dining room. This time you're going to find me in my kitchen, my green kitchen, because this month's video is going to be focusing on kitchen and bath design because I really want to share with you some great information. So let's get the slides going because I like a visual aid to go with my talking. So I have to pull up the keynote and let's get this going. All right, I'm going to continue to share. Here we go. So this video is going to focus on trends that we love and mistakes to avoid. So this is going to focus on trends for 2025. We're already halfway through the year, but it's interesting. I did a very similar workshop to this about 2 years ago, I think. And I was kind of looking back on the trends, and it's interesting that some of the trends are still the same trends as they were 2 years ago. So I don't really know if that qualifies as a trend. But anyway, so let's talk about it. Before we get to the nitty-gritty, I want to introduce myself for anyone that's new here. My name is Jennifer Taylor, and I'm an interior designer. I have been for 30 years. And my design studio is located in Tallahassee, Florida, where I specialize in kitchen and bath design. I currently live in Monticello, Florida, which is about 30 minutes outside of Tallahassee in the country. My husband and I built our dream home on 30 acres, not 30 acres, 5 acres, and we're loving it. I'm married to Brian, and we have three adult children, and we have three dogs, and one of them's down here panting. They love to bark, so in case they start barking, I've got an Amazon delivery that I'm expecting today, and hopefully he doesn't show up while I'm recording, but I'm just going to apologize in advance if that happens. Okay, so let's get into it. So here are the trends that we are saying goodbye to in 2025. And I'm really going to try to move my thumbnail because there we go. So I don't have to look at myself. Perfect. All right, so we're saying goodbye to the all-white kitchen. The all-white kitchen has been around for a long time. I love a white kitchen, but not an all-white kitchen. There has to be a little bit of color in there just to break up all of the sterile look that an all-white kitchen to me brings. Now remember, all these are my opinions, all right? So don't come at me. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So here's what we've got to see, we're going to start seeing is pops of color. Ranges, there's some beautiful ranges out there now that come in beautiful colors. I'm going to show you some of those on the next slide. Vent hoods are another great way to bring in little pops of color. If you're not so bold and you don't want to spend a lot of money on a color trend, then really consider doing some color on your backsplash tile. That kitchen right there with the blue tile is the kitchen in my old house. And I will tell you, it's an all-white kitchen, white countertops, white appliances, white cabinets. And I got the most compliments on the blue backsplash tile. Another thing that you can consider is doing a contrast color on your island. You can see in that other photo, they did a stain, so it contrasts from the white cabinets. So that's a really great trend to embrace. That color trend on the island has been around for a while, though. Blue and green are always great colors to use in your kitchens and bathrooms because that is a color that doesn't tend to really go out of style as much. The intensities of the colors come and go, but the colors themselves don't really. This company is great. Blue Star, I've never personally used them, but look at all of the colors that their ranges come in. I mean, every color in the rainbow. So wouldn't that be great if you were doing an all white kitchen or an all stained wood kitchen and you threw in that pop of color there with your range? Another trend that we're seeing that I am loving is standalone cupboards. And really, what that means is that the cabinetry is supposed to look like maybe a piece of furniture. The photo on the left is one of my projects where we did a blue cabinet that was supposed to look like a standalone cabinet. Now, I'm going to be completely honest here. For this client, we did the design for their, this is a butler's pantry right off their main kitchen. So we redesigned their kitchen and this pantry. We did all the drawings. And then we turn that over to the client, and then they kind of execute the design on their own with their contractor. We're not really involved in a lot of project management. Now, for this one, I kind of wish that we were because in my drawings, the base cabinet was the same width as the cabinet above it. And so it would have looked like, a fully, like a piece of furniture. Now, we did have the countertop going all the way across, but I really, really wish that someone along the way had really looked at my drawings and had caught that because I really don't love that the cabinet below is a little wider than the cabinet above. But anyway, the picture on the right of the stone fire range surround is a inspiration photo that a client sent me not too long ago that I designed her kitchen. And this is the rendering that we put together for her kitchen. So we designed a pantry cabinet that goes to the right of the range that is a standalone cabinet. So it's going to be stained, it's going to have decorative feet, it's going to have really decorative hardware. It's going to look so different than the perimeter cabinetry. So I'm really, really loving this trend of standalone cupboards, is what the trend says. But, it's just a cabinet that's supposed to look like a piece of furniture. Loving that. The next trend that I'm really loving, and it goes back to that same project, is luxury pantries. Walk-in pantries that include way more than shelving. It's a combination of a butler's pantry, a food pantry. A lot of times you'll hear people refer to them as a scullery, which I think is an English term. But these two photographs are from that same project where the blue cabinet was. But you can see that behind that blue cabinet, we did pocket doors that expose a great coffee and tea station for the client. We also gave her, oh no, that picture on the right is not hers. It looks just like it, but it's not. But you can see on her photograph that we did shelves for all of her small appliances, the things she's not using, she can tuck away, but then there's no doors on them, so she can easily pull them out and put them on the counter. The photograph on the right shows a little bit more of a butler's pantry style in this, where there is a wine cooler, wine fridge, and a microwave. Some are even getting going as far as adding a second dishwasher and a sink. But walk-in pantries are great, and if you can make them function more than just holding food, that is a plus in my book. And I'm going to go really quick back to that. This is that same pantry, and in addition to food storage and small appliance storage, we also gave her a little desk space. So luxury pantries. The other design trend that we're seeing a lot of is reeded cabinets. Now, I have personally not specified the reeded cabinets yet. I live in the South. I live in North Florida, and I consider that really, I live in South Georgia. But that is the South, and we do not embrace a lot of modern style cabinetry. But I love the reeded cabinets, and I hope to get to use them one day. But in the meantime, here are some inspiration photos that I pulled off of Pinterest. You can see that this feature adds a ton of texture to your kitchen or even your bathroom. I prefer to use it as more like an accent, like on this island where it's just kind of along the side, or maybe just on the island itself on the cabinets. I don't love it everywhere. First of all, I feel like less is more. So if you've got a neat design feature, don't do it everywhere. But also keep in mind, if you can even see in the photo there on the left, there's a lot of variation when you're using a lot of different pieces of wood because wood is a natural material. And you can really see that the coloring goes from light to dark on that paneled refrigerator right there. Now let's move into bathrooms. And bathroom luxury is a trend that has been around for many years, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. People want their bathrooms to feel like a spa space. Um, if you've ever been to a spa, you know why. I love this picture. This was from the kitchen and bath show from a couple years ago, but I love that this is called this walk-in shower where they did a really large niche that is a bench literally that you can recline inside of that niche. Turn the steam on, put some oils in there, some aromatic oils, some great music, and you could really relax in that bathroom. Steam showers, soaking tubs, heated towel bars, all of those are what's considered bathroom luxury. I also am really embracing this trend of wet rooms. We recently did a wet room. The photographs weren't that great, so I didn't put them in the presentation because it was a tight bathroom and it was hard to get really good overall photos of the room. And I really wanted to show you guys what a wet room really is. And what it is it's like a huge shower that also houses the bathtub. The bathtub could be a standalone bathtub, like in these examples, or a tub deck. But you can see that there's a glass door. You walk in, you've got a shower. The shower can get the tub wet. Or if you've got a lot of splashing going on, you've got kids and they're in the tub playing around, you don't have to worry about getting it on your walls. It's also a great way if your bathroom is on the small side, because if you can incorporate the shower and the tub together in one space, you'll save on the square footage that you're needing for those two elements. So I'm loving a wet room. Now we're back to color again, but now in the bathrooms. And I love wallpaper and I love bold color. So don't be afraid to do it in the bathroom. That's a great place to use it, either with paint or with wallpaper. I love wallpaper. This is a powder bath that I designed for a client that we did this fun lemon wallpaper. This bathroom is right off of her bathroom and it's perfect. She loves it so, so much, and I do too. This photograph here on the right was an inspiration photo for a new build client that I'm currently working with, where whoever bathroom this is put some shiplap along the back wall of a small powder bath and then painted that an accent color. And then all the rest of the walls were neutral. So don't be afraid to add some color and go bold with it. Okay, so now let's talk about what not to do. We've talked about some great trends and things that we're seeing in the kitchen and bath design, but let's talk about what not to do. I love this part. I pulled most of these photos off of Zillow or Pinterest. So and these are probably a couple of years old. So I'm not, hopefully these, you don't recognize either of these rooms. So the first thing that I consider a mistake to avoid is too many trends in one space. So let's take the kitchen. Here's what I see when I call it trends. I see floating shelves. I see subway tile. I see a farmhouse sink. And then I also see those um, swing arm wall lights. That to me is just too many trends, and especially in one spot at that kitchen sink. It's just too much going on. It's too many small things. You don't really know where to focus. So that's way too many trends in that kitchen. The bathroom, same thing. We're seeing shiplap. We're seeing all these pendant lights hanging down. We're seeing wood. We're seeing the mosaic tile and the backsplash. We're also seeing the bronze, the darker, the wall mount faucets. To me, again, it's just too many things going on at once. And I don't mind trends, but I think trends are best left for things that you can easily change out, like light fixtures, a paint color, cabinet hardware. Those are things that in 5, 6, 7 years, when that trend has kind of come and gone and you're ready for a change, that you can easily and inexpensively change out. Now, a lot of mistakes I see are in kitchen lighting, and I'm going to kind of talk about what I see in these two photos. The middle photo, to me, the lighting is just spaced out too far. There's too much space between those pendant lights. They're too far to the end of the island. Those should have been scooted together at least 12 inches, if not more. Then you look at the lighting on the right on that super large island. That lighting to me, even though that island is big, that lighting just feels overwhelming to me for that space. And they're also too close together. So I've got one extreme where they're too close and another extreme where they're too far away. I put this graphic in here because this is a really great tool to use if you're considering doing some lighting over your kitchen island. So about 30 inches apart from center to center is a great rule of thumb to use. When I get done sharing this, I'll talk to you about my pendant lights because that's a rule that I use for mine. You also want about 30 to 36 inches from the countertop to the bottom of your light. Keep in mind the height of the light above your breakfast room table. I did that in mine. I wanted my pendant lights to be a little bit higher than my pendant over my kitchen table. And so I had the electricians kind of hold them up. And I'm glad that I did that because we ended up making some changes from what I originally thought I was going to do based on us just holding them up before they installed them. Another mistake that I see a lot is people do these huge kitchen islands, like oversized. I see it a lot too on these TV shows and on these luxury real estate programs that are on HGTV and others, Bravo. And here's what I don't like. First of all, to get around the island is a lot of steps, and you want your kitchen to be efficient. To clean the center of the island is pretty much impossible. You cannot reach the middle of the island, especially the one on the right, to clean it. Like you can't wipe the countertops down. And you're also then you've got all this space in the middle that I'm sure is just vacant. There's no storage there, and you're just missing out on a lot. For if your kitchen is large enough for an island that big, I would suggest you do two islands. One is kind of a working island, and then one is kind of a sitting island. That would have been my suggestion for a client who came to me and had a kitchen that large. The one on the left is really long, more so than square shaped. It's definitely a rectangle. But again, you're just kind of having to get around. If you're serving food and your kids are getting stuff to eat, you got to walk all the way around from to get to bring the food to the bar stools. I just don't love them. I just think they're too big and they don't make sense to me. Now we're going to jump back to bathrooms. This is a mistake that I see so many people make, and it drives me crazy. And that is bathroom mirrors that are way too small for the space. And these are photos of very extreme examples. And I don't have to explain what's wrong with this photograph on the left. I mean, this is a huge countertop. Like it's a big vanity. There's a weird space in the middle. I guess that's supposed to be a knee space for like a stool. But these lights and these mirrors are so tiny above this huge vanity. Then over here, the picture to the right, they did a knee space and they lowered it down, but then they just took a tiny mirror and like, I mean, it's self-explanatory. I don't even need to really explain to you what's in those photos because they're just so bad. But keep in mind scale, keep in mind your light fixture placement. Don't be afraid to use plate glass mirrors instead of decorative mirrors. Sometimes that is the best use of space. Plate glass mirrors get a really bad rap because those have been around for a long time. And, over time along the edge, just like anything else, the paint or whatever's on the back of the mirror starts to flake off. And I get it, but everything wears out over time. Even decorative mirrors will wear out over time. But a plate glass mirror that would go, if that bathroom there on the right where they have the step down, if they had done a plate glass mirror that went all the way across, then the person sitting there would be able to see themselves great. They should have done the backsplash on the countertop all the way up so it met the backsplash behind the sink. That would have been a great way to address the situation with the two different heights of the countertops. And this is a photograph of a custom home builder in our local area that I like to use. And I love this quote. Most people need less done well, not more done poorly. And here is my beef with this bathroom. My beef with this bathroom is that border tile that they've used. They've used it in three different spots in the bathroom. It's at three different heights in the bathroom, and you're not really sure where to go. It also feels like the border that runs along the front of the tub is thicker than the other borders. They should have just left that mosaic in the shower and let it stand on its own so it complements the busy countertop across. That's how I would have fixed this bathroom if the client had come to me before they decided to build it this way. Okay, guys, so we're at the end. And I want to talk to you really quick about a course that I put together a number of years ago that is still so relevant today called How to Renovate Your Bathroom Like a Pro. If you've got your phone, you can scan that QR code. It'll take you right to my website. It's $59. It's 5 videos, 5 short on-demand videos. You can watch them when you want, however many times that you want. You get a loadable workbook that will have all kinds of stuff in there, budget worksheet, timelines, how to make your selections. It is a great course. So if you're thinking about renovating your bathroom, I highly recommend you take a look at my website. There's a little video on there where you can see a sneak peek of the video. If you've got any questions, email me. I would love to help you. I also do virtual consultations. So if you're needing some more help and you want to, talk to me, and you're like, I don't really know where I want to go with my kitchen or bathroom renovation. I'm just kind of stuck. A virtual consultation is great. It's 90 minutes. We meet just like this via Zoom. You can give me a little tour of your space that you have questions about, and I will be happy to provide you a lot of great information in those 90 minutes. So here are my pendant lights. And it's funny, I just recently got those installed probably about 3 weeks ago. I bought them soon after we moved in and just didn't call the electrician. And I'm so glad that we finally got them hung. Now, from this angle, they look like they're at different heights, but I promise you that they're the same. This island in my kitchen is actually a table. It's a little bit lower than countertop height. It's kind of between table and counter, but I really, really love it. And I will tell you that I embraced the only trend that I would say that I embraced in my kitchen is that I did brass accents. So my appliances all have brass handles, and all of my cabinets have brass hardware. And then there's a little bit of brass, as you can see there on the light fixture. So in 10 years, when brass has, made its way out of the design trend world, then I can pull the stainless steel handles that we still have up in the attic and put those back on my appliances. I can change out my cabinet hardware and I can change out my lights, and my kitchen won't feel like it was built in 2025. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you stay to the end. If you've got any questions about this video or any others, please leave me a comment. I would also love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really like to know that people are actually watching the videos. It just keeps me going and putting the effort that I put into for these videos every month. I love to share with you guys. And if you've got any ideas for a video, I'd love to know that as well. So thanks, and have a great, great rest of your day.